Welcome to my views and news. Some news stories from Eritrea and Ethiopia. Firstly, Afwerki, the president of Eritrea, is in China on a 4-day state visit. How was he welcomed by Chinese president today? He was welcomed by Xi Jinping, who held a gathering. He organized a ceremony in the honor of Afwerki. People are comparing Afwerki's reception in China and African leaders' reception in Europe and America. Secondly, viewers, several youth have been shot dead by Ethiopian security forces in South Gondar. Several sources are confirming an incident involving the death of several youth. Why were they killed? Why were they shot dead? And lastly, Tefera Mamo was granted permission to travel abroad. Former Amhara Special Force Chief, who was removed from his position last year, but has he been able to fly abroad, or is he still being stopped from leaving Ethiopia? Firstly, viewers, Afwerki, Eritrean President, is in China these days on a 4-day state visit. Chinese President invited him. He's there. Warmly welcomed. Afwerki is being warmly welcomed by Chinese government. Chinese are very hospitable people, by the way, and they have good relations with developing countries' leaders. They know especially that these developing countries, underdeveloped countries, they have their concerns, they have their complaints regarding hegemony of Western powers, US, especially Eritrea, other countries. So that is why these countries like Eritrea are natural allies of Russia and China. And the Chinese have been supporting EPLF too. That is what Isas mentioned when he met with Xi Jinping today. Xi Jinping said that on the 24th of May, the two countries will celebrate 30th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations. But Afwerki in his speech said that the relations started around 60 years ago. China supported Eritrean struggle for independence, and Afwerki thanked the Chinese Communist Party for the support. So overall, Afwerki is being warmly welcomed. Question is, what is Isas going to get from this visit? What will Eritrean people get from this visit? That is the most important question. Chinese, as I said in previous videos, Chinese want to have their presence in this region, Horn of Africa. They want to have their military presence here, presence in the form of projects as well. Why? Because the area, the zone is close to the world's busiest shipping route. What has Chinese interest in Eritrea for Eritrea? And can Afwerki get something through this visit from China? Can he get duty-free access for Eritrean exports to Chinese markets? Like China announced this access for some Ethiopian exports. Ethiopia had access to duty-free. Ethiopia had duty-free access to U.S. markets. U.S. Suspended that facility. AGWA was suspended. China reportedly gave this duty-free access to Ethiopian products. Eritrea needs a similar facility. Eritrea needs Chinese support in terms of sharing of technology. It needs Eritrean support in terms of building of infrastructure, maybe financial assistance as well. So China can do a lot for Eritrea. What will Isaias get? Eritrea deserves to have Chinese support because China wants to have presence in this region. International relations between countries are always based on interests. No matter their relations, their ties are decades old or years old. Question is, what is in that relation for the two countries? So hopefully Isaias will get something for his people through this visit. Of course, he needs Chinese support because he has been under pressure from US, from Western countries, which impose sanctions on Eritrea. And Eritrea got support at UN forums, support from China, support from Russia. So he needs support, but at the same time, he needs to get something for his people from China. Let's see what he gets. I have a clip for you showing how Isaias Afwerki was warmly welcomed in China, and a clip showing the two leaders, Xi Jinping and Isaias Afwerki, expressing their views.
非洲资深领导人，又是中国人民的老朋友。刚才我们在路上都谈到你在中国的情景，你对中国有深厚的感情。我对你的来访表示热烈欢迎。中国和俄里特利亚传统友谊深厚，两国在俄里特利亚建国当天就建立外交关系。今年5月24日，我们将迎来两国建交30周年纪念日。中国人常说30而立，我们要以此为契机，推动两国关系实现更好发展。
Your Excellency Xi Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China, allow me first to express my profound gratitude for the kind invitation that Your Excellency has extended to me. The highest impact that was the support of the People's Republic of China extended to the struggle of the Eritrean people for independence. Even though Eritrea and China established formal diplomatic ties in 1993, their practical strategic ties of friendship and cooperation had begun in earnest before 60 years. In this context, let me extend our profound gratitude.
国家主席习近平15号下午在人民大会堂东门外广场举行仪式，欢迎厄立特里亚国总统伊萨亚斯·阿费沃基对我国进行国事访问。中共中央政治局委员、中央外事工作委员会办公室主任王毅、国务委员秦刚等出席欢迎仪式。陪同伊萨亚斯访华的有外交部部长、财政与国家发展部部长、贸易与工业部部长等。军乐团奏鄂中两国国歌，鸣礼炮21响。伊萨亚斯在习近平陪同下检阅。
Second Levios Tefera Mamo was again denied travel abroad. Reportedly, former Amhara Special Force commander was removed from his position. Last year, he led Amhara Special Force, because Amhara Special Force had been disbanded. He led Amhara Special Force, but Tigray fighters entered Amhara region in 2021. Later, he was removed, and then he became very critical of Amhara regional government, Ethiopian federal government. He was put in prison, later he was released, and then he wanted to travel abroad for medical treatment in Israel. Some doctors, some people in Israel, they were funding his travel abroad, but Ethiopian government refused to allow him to travel abroad. He was stopped at Bole airport. He moved a case to a court. A court decided in favor of the former Amhara special commander, and the court directed reportedly Ethiopian government to allow Tefera Mamo to fly abroad, but so far he has not been able to leave Ethiopia. Reportedly, he has contacted immigration department. He is not being allowed to visit Israel for medical treatment. Sabbath Naga was allowed to leave Ethiopia. He's in the US, though he was charged with treason, with terrorism, when the war was ongoing in northern Ethiopia. Now he is in the US, but Tefera Mamo is still in Ethiopia. Last year, several youth have been shot dead by Ethiopian security forces in South Gondar. Incident happened in Seda Moja district, which is in South Gondar, and here reportedly 6 youth have been shot dead, 11 injured. The incident happened after the youth were spotted by security forces, and they were suspected of being Fano fighters or of trying to support Fano fighters. That is why security forces opened fire at their vehicles, and 6 deaths are being confirmed by locals. State media is not covering this incident, but if the killed were Fano fighters or supporters of Fano, the government should share details of their involvement. Otherwise, you cannot kill just any youth in Amhara, accusing them of being Fano or supporter of Fano. Were any weapons recovered from them? No details. I have no confirmation that any weapons were recovered from them. But 6 deaths are being confirmed. Such incidents will lead to increase in anti-government sentiment in the region. Already anti-government emotions running high in the Amhara. So government force will have to tackle the situation very responsibly, but the way government is using force, it will make people entrenched in their resistance to the federal government and to some extent to the regional government as well.